Hello, my name is Jen, and in today's video I would like to talk to you about an African movie film called Beyonce, President's Daughter. Now I'm just going to do a little review on this film, and I'm going to do some background information, and that's basically the video for today. So Beyonce, President's Daughter is the film that started off my obsession with African films. Okay, one weekend my aunt came from Pennsylvania and she introduced this movie to my mom, and then my mom came home and she was just giving me great reviews about it, and so I decided, okay, I should get it from a local vendor on Flatbush, and I did, and we watched it together, and what it basically did is it blew my mind away. The things I loved about the film is, first of all, it's the sceneries, the brightness of the film. It was really well lit. Of course, it has a lot of drama because Beyonce, President's Daughter is like a love triangle type of story, and so that's basically what you're gonna see about when I review it. Is that it's a love triangle. It's a convoluted love triangle. So after I finished getting the film and I watched it, it became an obsession. Like several years later, I would buy film after film after film after film because I was so obsessed, and I love this movie so much. Okay, so Beyonce, President's Daughter starts off, has three main characters, and it's like a love triangle between Raj, Van Vicker, played by Van Vicker, Nadia Buari, which plays Beyonce, the President's Daughter, who the film is mainly about, is based off on, and Sierra, who is played by Jacki Appiah. Okay, so to start off with, the film starts off with a bang. Okay, in the first scene we see a group of armed thugs basically shoot at Raj, played by Van Vicker, at point blank range. They basically shoot him like head on, and he falls to the ground, and then they go and they drive off. They run off and they drive off. Now this is a case of mistaken identity. They probably thought he was someone else. This is not really explained in the film. It's probably most likely a case of mistaken identity, a hit that was put on somebody that they just mistakenly thought it was someone else. So luckily for Raj, as he's screaming for help and he's just vomiting up blood, Sierra just came in the scene as she saw the whole scene unfold, where these armed thugs just shot him at point blank range, and she's basically scared. She doesn't know whether she should stay or she should go, because she doesn't know if he's involved with these people, or if they have a hit on his life, or if they're gonna attack her, or if they're gonna come back. She doesn't know what to do, and she's wrestling with her conscience. She's struggling of whether to stay or to go and help Raj, who's just bleeding to death on the floor. But the thing is, as he's vomiting up blood at this point, and he's screaming for help, for somebody to save his life, her conscience takes the better of her, and she decides, you know, I should help him, you know, it would be the right thing to do. And so she does end up helping him. She gets him, hails him a taxi, and they help him into the car, and eventually they get into a hospital, and what ends up happening is that his life is saved. They're able to help him, and he recuperates from his wounds. Okay, so then Raj, to continue to the synopsis, Raj, now he is so indebted to Sierra. Not only is she beautiful, but he's so thankful that this good Samaritan helped him out in his time of need, you know, because if it wasn't for her, he wouldn't be alive. And so they begin to talk, and he's thankful for what she did, and they get to know each other, and it's basically a match made in heaven. They fall head over heels, and he can't stop fawning over the type of person she is. And they hang out in a favorite hangout spot, his favorite club where she sings a lot, and things seem like it's on the up and up, and everything is going on the right path. So now in the scene enters Beyonce, and Beyonce is like in this film is like Ghana's president, the president's daughter. It's like a fictitious type of daughter. I'm pretty sure the Ghanaian president, his daughter is not named Beyonce, so it's like a fictitious type of figure. So she comes into the supermarket and she eyes Raj there, and she falls in love. She wants to make him hers. She wants to make him her like her man, and so with Beyonce, normally what you get from the movie is that whenever Beyonce wants something, that's what she's gonna get, because she's so determined and she's spoiled and she's rich and she's just gonna get whatever she wants. It's just how it is. That's what you get from the gist of the film. She's spoiled and she's entitled and she gets her way either way. So then she goes up to Raj and they start talking, and what ends up happening is that they end up, you know, sleeping with each other. She makes a move on him and he accepts. Eventually, when they start getting to know each other a little bit better, they sleep together. Like he cheats on Ciara, supposedly the love of his life, and he sleeps with Beyonce. And now one thing I want to say is that the character of Vicker, like whenever he's in a film, trust that the woman that he's with is always going to go through some type of hell, because in his films that he plays, he never takes any of his relationships remotely seriously, and because he's always playing around with the women that he's involved with, the women usually end up either dying or they end up in misery, or something happens where it's like the women end up in a bad way. And I've seen this time and time again with almost every Vicker movie. It almost never fails. So then to go back to the film, but the thing is that Van Vicker's character Raj sleeps with Beyonce, but he has no intention of being with her. But the thing is, he doesn't understand is that she feels like she like as any woman would, that if a guy does something like that to you, with you, then he is basically your man. But he doesn't get that. He doesn't understand that. So from this critical error in judgment that Raj commits, now Beyonce thinks she has a right into his life, and so she starts coming to his house, getting to know his mom and his sister. The mom and sister, they took a liking to her, and the thing that starts happening is she begins to antagonize Ciara because she feels that Raj is her man. In one of the scenes, a scene that was very triggering, Ciara goes to see, Ciara is confronting Beyonce, and Beyonce takes a pot and literally takes the pot and slaps it against her face. The pot breaks in half and blood is all over Ciara's face, and it was so triggering because it was like, I just didn't see it coming, and I was like, whoa. And scenes like this in the movie, it shows you just non-stop action, even though at times you wouldn't want to see somebody get slapped with a pot and it like blood go everywhere, but this is one of the scenes you can expect from this really soap opera type of film. It's like it has a soapy quality to it. Okay, so then but the thing that you must realize is that Beyonce will not stop at any length to win Raj over. And eventually, after so many attempts of trying to break them apart and it not working, she decides to do the ultimate plan. Now, the ultimate plan is that she decides to hire some assassin to attack both of them while they're walking. And what they're gonna do is that they're gonna pretend like they're just a random group of people. They're gonna throw acid on Ciara's face, and they're gonna like try to hit Raj in a way, but not to injure him seriously. And it's supposed to look like it was just a case of mistaken identity by some malicious people. And then when the attack actually happens, both Ciara and Raj are rushed to the hospital, but Ciara's wounds are extreme. Like her face is burnt to like a point that it's unrecognizable. And Raj, he is minorly wounded, but he is minorly wounded and he is expected to make a full recovery. But unfortunately for Ciara, her face is basically, the acid went into her face. Okay, now I'm gonna stop here and say that when I saw like how they did the face, it was completely ridiculous. It looked like they put like a clay mask and they just put like Play-Doh on her face. They just put a Play-Doh on her face, and they just did chunks of Play-Doh all over her face, and that's supposed to show that she's a victim of like an acid wound victim. It was completely ridiculous, and I didn't believe it for one moment. But being that this is an African film, eventually you buy into it, right? So then what ends up happening is that her wounds are, if she doesn't get treated with a certain amount of money, she might die. So Raj is doing the best that he can to get as many funds as he can raise up for her, because she's the love of his life, and he basically is trying his best to get her the treatment that she deserves. Meanwhile, as Raj is not there, Beyonce comes in and she prepositions Ciara and tells Ciara, look, I have an offer to give you, and it's an offer that Ciara basically can't refuse because of her limited means. And not only her limited means, because if she doesn't do it, she could die basically, because they don't have enough money to treat the wounds of which she has sustained. And so, but the point that Beyonce says, and this is the first CD and it's gonna head into the second CD. So the first CD ends with Beyonce prepositioning Ciara, and what she says to her is that I'm gonna give you a full new identity, and I'm gonna pay for your whole surgery. The thing is that you're not gonna look like yourself, and not only are you not gonna look like yourself, I want you to stay away from Raj and pretend that you never knew him. So so Ciara, feeling like she's back into a corner, has no choice but to do what Beyonce is prepositioning her to do, because she has no choice. She has no means of doing this, of helping herself to pay for the surgery that's required for her to get better, because if she doesn't do it, she's gonna die anyway from the complications with the acid attack that she sustained. And so the first CD ends up with her agreeing to do this procedure, and then the second CD, if I'm not mistaken, begins with her change as the new Ciara, whose name is now Marcy. And Marcy is played by Yvonne Okoro, another actress, to pretend to be the old Ciara that's now named Marcy. So now the thing about Marcy is that Vicker's character, Raj, is completely and totally heartbroken. That was the love of his life. That was basically the love of his life, and she died, and he feels like he's never gonna find a love like that again. And it was all his, and he feels like he had a part to play in it, because maybe he didn't do his due diligence in trying to protect her and raising the funds that would have helped her survive the surgery. So, oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, she's reported as being dead, as Beyonce prepositioned Ciara that she would say, because that's part of the plan. So Raj this whole time thinks she's dead, and meanwhile Beyonce is coming into his life, trying to console him, and eventually starting to like her a little bit. Things are starting to change over time. He's starting to have feelings for her, because she's basically, he doesn't know that she's the cause of her supposedly dying, and as a result he's beginning to warm up to her, comforting him and being there for him in his time of greatest need. So then, to continue, he still goes to that club where he used to sing and do little entertainment things, and there Missy is always singing there. And one day she starts to sing, and the thing about Ciara that Raj most loves is her voice. She has a beautiful voice, and when he hears Marcy singing, it's like it brings back so much memories for him. It's like he's not even looking at Marcy, who's really Ciara. It's like he's looking at the love of his life who passed away so tragically. And so he goes up to Marcy after this, and he finds out, tries to find out her information, talk to her. And eventually the whole gist of the film is that he does eventually get to know that Marcy is Ciara. But the thing is will it work out? Will it work out between the two of them? Can they be together, especially with the plotting and conniving of Beyonce, the president's daughter? So that's basically the gist and the synopsis of the whole film, is that Beyonce is always meddling into Raj and Ciara's relationship. And will their relationship be able to withstand the test of time, or will Beyonce's constant conniving and meddling get the best of their relationship? So that's basically my review and synopsis for today, and it's the synopsis and review of Beyonce, the president's daughter. So that's basically my video for today. I hope you really enjoyed it, because I tried to not only remember the characters but to add my commentary a little bit about what I thought about it, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. My name is Christani.